Google quietly admitted that they actively worked with the Biden administration to censor YouTube channels. You guys, this is actual censorship. The government and big tech working together to shut down dissent. This is a huge story, and it got buried because of the ICE shooting. They kind of were able to slide right under that one. Google basically was like, oops, our bad.
Let's not bicker and argue about who killed who.
And they're going to reinstate a bunch of people's channels who got banned. Never mind how many millions of dollars people lost as a result of Google's censorship. That's neither here nor there. The more of this shit that comes out, the more I'm like, what would have happened if Kamala had won? Yeah. Would we have just buried all of this? Would none of this had ever come out? I certainly don't think I would even be online anymore. Google would still be lying about censorship, and none of us could do anything about it. They're the only game in town, truly. And it would have been so much worse for women's rights, for LGBT rights. It would have been so much worse for all of these young kids who are being brainwashed, all of the things that are being rolled back in terms of men and women's lockers rooms and are finally being admitted to, like the WPATH hearings and all the science that's finally coming out about gender transitioning. And that's why I don't want to hear a thing from anybody about Jimmy Kimmel. I truly don't. The Google situation just shows how much of a sock in the wind the corporations really are, because Google had tampons in the men's room.
Oh, soon, my sweets.
And now they're like, oh, we couldn't help it. We had to do it. We had to do it, big bad Google. We made us put tampons in the men's room, which is what the Civil War is actually going to be about. There are tampons in the men's. Maggie and I are writing a musical, and this is going to be one of our songs. Let us know what you think. There are tampons in the men's room,
and we're
going to go to war. There are tampons in the men's room. This is me throwing guns. That's what they were fighting for. When Trump rolled into town, they started changing their disposition immediately. They were like, oh, it's like suddenly the winds are blowing the other direction. And they're like, okay, we're just going to go with the flow, which is what corporations do because they're the biggest pussies around. Other than you, Google, we love Google. Google is the best. Google is our favorite corporation. If the corporations become archipelagos, I hope that Google will let me live in theirs. We would never run astray of Google's terms of use. We love the Google algorithm. It is so good to us. We found out from the Twitter files that the FBI met regularly with big tech companies. I mean, this is Google we're talking about, guys. Google!
Right. Google.
Google in bed with the Biden administration. It should be the front page news. But the New York Times isn't going to cover this because they were behind it too. They were all in support of it. All the people talking about Jimmy Kimmel. By the way, these people do not give a shit about free speech. They will weaponize the rights principles against them. I'm all for people like Ben Shapiro coming out and saying it's bad that Jimmy Kimmel, blah, blah, blah. But these people don't give a shit. They only see free speech as a way to get power. And the minute they get it back, we're all getting tossed in the volcano. The minute they have power, all of us.
Look, the volcano! Quick, duck and cover!
All of us are getting tossed right off of a building. I want to talk about this. All of the ICE shooting, the Charlie's shooter, all of the Annunciation shooter. How many fucking shootings have we had in like 2 weeks? And now we're dealing with the mental illness chickens coming home to roost from all of these crazy lockdowns. All these crazy shooters were locked up under a faulty pretense during COVID, and any dissent from those government-mandated lockdowns by scientists or politicians was considered misinformation, and they were banned or censored. So anyone pushing back against the school lockdowns, the state lockdowns, these kids stewed in a pot of insane online 4chan edgelording meme culture with no outlet, and now they're coming of age. And you're wondering, well, they're all fucking mentally ill. They were locked up alone online. And so much of that is downwind of the Biden administration censoring information. This is You can see the direct link. I'm sorry I am passionate about this, but this is insane. And it all gets somehow blamed and twisted around on the right wing when it's so many decisions made by the left wing and allowing the left to go as far left as they want to go with no check. The left needs to start policing their own side immediately. And what's crazy is that all the right wanted was equal opportunity on the airwaves. There wasn't this movement from the right to ostracize the left. The left, who all went to Blue Sky, it wasn't like they got kicked off Twitter when Elon took over. They left because Elon took over. Nobody on the right wants that. In fact, the right loves having the left around to dunk on them. There was never this, like, we have to purge you from the public life entirely. I think the more you can hear from people, honestly, the better. Even though, sure, it's driving everyone mentally insane, and we might be headed towards Civil War II and World War III. But I do like knowing what people actually think. And what they're doing is very illiberal. And historically, the left was always like, well, go build your own platform if you don't like it. And then some people tried. Rumble, Truth Social, and now we're stuck with these janky-ass platforms because they didn't have Google money. These platforms are like the Spirit Airways of social media platforms.
Breaking news, everything is bad. It's just as terrible as you imagined and probably worse. With more, we go to Tom Lee Cruz. Tom Lee.
We're all in danger, Dan Lee.
Jesus Christ, what can we do?
Absolutely nothing.
All right. Sorry for the long, insane rant. I'm doing my best not to lose my mind. It's not going well.